Hello lovelies and welcome to this week's video. This week is Wonder Woman, Artemis, and Diana. With all the chaos and drama surrounding the latest Wonder Woman film, I would like to bring her up in just a short little bit to discuss a different aspect coming from the pagan side. So what we've seen already associating with Wonder Woman is she feminist enough now that she's not really looking like an Amazonian since she's small and blah blah blah. Then we have like the Meninists or what MGTOWs, whatever you want to call them, getting pissed off that there was openings for the film that were female only, yet at the same time that these are the same people that didn't want to go because they thought the film was too feminist, because it was created by, the film is created by a woman and it's about a female superhero. Of course not every man and woman were thinking of this kind of stuff. They were just thinking, oh cool, a new film out. And some people being like, okay, well the DC films have been sucking lately and I don't really want to. So there was a lot of drama around it. And what I want to bring up as a DC fan, and recently just started getting into Marvel, and also pagan, is a different aspect. Now, okay, of course, the comic books and graphic novels and the films that come from them are all obviously just fiction, and it's creative licenses, and they don't have to follow the mythos perfectly, but I just want to kind of bring Wonder Woman in as an archetype, as well as to kind of slowly bring her into what my upcoming videos are going to be on in the Goddess series, which are about Artemis and then Dianic feminism, or Wicca, which is a feminist type of Wicca. So never mind, my mistake, but I'm not gonna re-record that. So Wonder Woman, her story. In her homeland, she is Princess Diana, and outside of her homeland, she is known by her civilian identity, Diana Prince. And then the origin story relates that she was sculpted from clay by her mother, the queen, and then gifted life by Aphrodite, which is a Greek god. And remember, Diana is the Roman version of Artemis, the Greek version. So, anyways, along with superhuman powers as given by the Greek gods, notably Zeus. And in the New 52s, it's actually stated that Zeus is actually now her biological father. So, with that said, again, there's creative licenses within fiction. And even when you are somebody like me who's big into, like, now you're seeing my nerd side, who's big into, like comic books and graphic novels and all that, films even are completely different than the storylines of that, or TV shows. Like, I can't even watch Gotham because it pisses me off so much, because I'm like a big Batman universe person. So there's always going to be some things that aren't clear. And there's also a DC like character named Artemis. So again, creative license, go with it. But the real stories I'm going to get into a second after I mention this. Nonetheless, she is still a feminist, or if you don't like the word feminist, she is a strong woman goddess archetype that Artemis and Diana both represent. She also represents a lot of the attributes of Athena or Minerva, you know, Greek, Roman. So she kind of like mixes a lot of the stronger female archetypes of the Greek and Roman mythos together. And that's what I like about her. And then adding in the strong Amazonian thing. There's so much about Wonder Woman I just love. But her story is not in line with that of the actual Greek and Roman mythos, and is actually like mixing them together, as well as mixing other people's goddesses and neo goddesses and all that kind of stuff story together. So that's kind of cool that DC did that. But I'm gonna kind of just give a little bit of Artemis and a little bit of Diana, and then in the future we will have videos on both separate. Okay, so Artemis. Artemis is the original, because the Greek came before the Roman, but she was created, her father was Zeus, and her mother was Leto. Her twin brother is Apollo or Apollon. She is the goddess of hunting, the wilderness, wild animals, the goddess of childbirth, the protector of the female while going through development and being a child until they get married, and that is because she is the moon maiden. In the triple goddess symbol, she is a maiden. She is a protector of women who suffer abuse from men. She's a feminist archetype and symbol, with a lot of people that aren't into that kind of thing. She also is representative of wild nature, witchcraft, and women's mysteries. And Diana is representative of all that as well. They're basically pretty much the same thing. The Greek and Roman mythos are pretty much identical. And a lot of you who are watching this, who are either Wiccan, pagan, or even New Age, or just into mythology, already know that. So, yeah, moving on. And just her colors, if you do altar stuff, are white and silver. Gemstones, moonstone, pearl, crystal quartz. The trees and herbs and plants that are good for her, related to her, are willow, cedar, fir, oak, wild fig, bay laurel, mugwort, wormwood, and tarragon. There's many more of all of this for her. This is just a short thing, because this is not my video just on Artemis. This is like an introductory to the big world of what I'm going to be getting into soon. Birds that are representative. Owl and quail. It seems like all the goddesses, side note, that I'm really into have owl in association. Animals. Wild animals. Animals besides birds. Wild animals, bears, boars. Bears and boars are very, very important with Artemis and Diana, because this is for both. Deer, dogs, dolphins, goats, wolves, and cats. Ironically, I did have a cat that I named Artemis that died when about almost a decade ago. And I used to always go, Arta the Sparta, and then that's when 300 came out, and I'd be like, this is Arta. But yeah, that's just a side note. I'm a dork. Things that are sacred to Artemis as well as Diana are a female's menstrual blood. Again, there's a lot more, and there is so much importance in the mythos of both Artemis and Diana, which we will get into in the future, so hold on, because I don't want this to be a 30-minute video, because this is just, yeah. So, Diana's story, where there's a little differences that I want to note for the purposes of this video, since this is a video about breaking down the differences between Wonder Woman, Artemis, and Diana. So, Diana, her parents are Jupiter and Latona. She has a twin brother, Apollo. It has the same representations as Artemis and symbols and associations. There is Dianic Wicca. Dianic Wicca, also known as Dianic Witchcraft, is a neo-pagan religion of female-centered goddess witchcraft and religious witchcraft. So Wicca and paganism tend to be about trying to create a balance between men and women and the feminine and the masculine, or getting rid of the binary in general and just kind of creating this whatever, depending on what you follow. And the Dianic Wicca, which there will be a future video just on it, but just to give a little detail about it, it's very different from that, because it focuses only on the goddesses and are worshipped being mainly on the goddess. Some worship only a single goddess, which would tend to be Diana, and it's egalitarian matriarchal feminism. It is named after Diana, obviously, but they do worship goddesses of other cultures. And some, again, are not just one goddess, but most are monotheistic goddess. But it doesn't necessarily have to be Diana. There are ones that are just Lilith. There are ones that are just Aphrodite. It doesn't. I mean, it's just an overall name. It's kind of an eclectic Wicca pagan belief system, which is why it's a neo-pagan Wiccan thing. It has combinations and elements of like traditional Wicca, Italian folk magic in general, Celtic paganism, Druidism, feminist values, healing practices from various belief systems, including like Native American, and yeah, it's kind of like what I believe, but without the fairies and without influences of the gods as well. It just focused on the goddess. But yeah, my next video for this goddess series will be just on Artemis, and then the following one for the goddess series will be on Dianic Wicca. I keep wanting to say Dianic feminism because it kind of is. It's not like the feminism that people like practice. Like, first of all, there's various theories of feminism. I'm not going to get political here, but yeah, there'll be a separate video there. For the time being, there is a awesome book on Artemis, and Artemis is like one of my favorite goddesses, and she comes to me in times that I really am struggling, especially when it is in relation to men. But it's the indomitable spirit in every woman in Artemis, and it's by Jean Shinoda Bolin, and it's used in some like religious gender studies courses, but it has the whole mythos of Artemis as well as other like people that were trying to come into Artemis and the mythos with all of that. So it's a really interesting read that I think people should give a try to. And then I had these in my pictures. Just show them quickly. Wonder Woman. And one last note. Another one of the dramas that was being associated with Wonder Woman was that she wasn't American enough in this film, even though she's Amazonian and like demigod. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, here, yes, there's some red and blue, but she's not supposed to be American, so just wanted to put that as a side note. If you liked this video, please like and share, and if you haven't yet, subscribe and press the bell button, because that will give you updates on when my videos are out. And the next video that I will be putting out is on fairy gardening at home, so, which is completely different than this. And then after that, I'll get back to the goddess series. So if you like that, like this, share, check out my links, check out my shop. That is where I live off of. So check out my shop, check out my Facebook page, business page, all that kind of stuff. Tarot readings are half off until August 1st. So check that out. And I'll see you next time. I love you and thank you for all your support. Mwah. Bye.